Don't move. Whatever happens, it's been wild, hasn't it? Crypto, Bitcoin, altcoins, whatever you want to know it as, has produced a pretty significant bounce. Bitcoin has moved significantly. Altcoins are starting to wake up a bit as well. And everyone thinks that the bottom is in. So let me know in the comments, what do you think? Before we go on, let me know. Is the bottom in? But has anything fundamentally changed other than a couple of announcements? Not really. But it has got people excited again, which is good to see. It's been a while. I mean, probably the first time in months I've been excited to do a YouTube video. I'm going to look at both the bullish and the bearish case, and most importantly, I'm going to explain what I've been doing and what I'm planning to do with my own monies here. So don't miss out on that bit. And if you are new, or if you are returning and you've finally seen me back onto your feed, I know it's 20 past 11 UK time as I record this. This will be out in the evening, so the price may change a little bit. But as I say, scroll down, comment. Also, while you're there, like the video and subscribe. But let's look at the chart. This is what we are looking at. I've still got the Billy Bear here. Hello. I've removed some of the fibs, I've removed some of the noise, so it is quite simplistic. But we need to talk about what has happened. And I'll go in more detail, bullish and bearish cases in a minute, but ultimately, big giga chad move, basically, if you're going to look at the dictionary term in terms of crypto. Big move, hit a Fibonacci sequence quite a while ago. Yeah, the 1st of July, 618 level, and now we're bounced quite significantly. But this is the thing. This is one of the biggest moves since, I think, 2024. It's one of the biggest short squeezes we've had in history, which would become a situation anyways, because as the market increased with stable currencies and amount of altcoins, but it's quite good. Bullish. But I say bullish, it doesn't, in my opinion, signify the bull market. So don't get distorted with short-term price action and the longer-term picture here. Why did we bounce? You're probably wondering. Well, this was one of the first announcements that came, and I did a Patreon video on Tuesday when we were talking about some news was going on, and we had a little bit of a move, a little tiny move. And then obviously on the Thursday, it went whoomph because of this. US Treasury has increased size of nominal long end support for buybacks beginning on the 9th of September. So it is a announcement of the announcement vibe, I get it, through to the 4th of November. So we'll see what happens here. Basically, money printer going on again, for the short term anyways. This could help push yields lower and help the bond market with stability, and it has created a bit of an influx. Remember, cryptocurrency is a great liquidity provider. So don't be disheartened to know that this move may well fizzle out at the end of this, just saying. Again, the second most important bit of news, we could argue, is the renewed support from Donald Trump about the Clarity Act, which you can see here. He has urged Congress to pass legislation for the digital asset world, the Clarity Act, right? So this could be good. I don't know. I don't like it when Mr. Trump speaks because he often rumbles things. And again, we could talk about the rumble in the jungle in a minute, but you can see here, if enabled, it would be very, very interesting to see where we go long term. Whether that means a lot of altcoins die or whatever, and the good ones survive and Bitcoin does well, who knows? But clarity is clarity at the end of the day. But off the back of all this, and the thing that I believe that moves the market more than anything right now is the institutional behavior. This is on my website. I've sourced the data, made it neat and tidy. As you can see, the inflows have been great. 4-day inflow streak. We are looking pretty good. That is a big, massive jump. We've had some money going into the market quite aggressively. Yearly performance, we're looking a bit better than what we were not too long ago. So we're getting better. So yeah, when we talk about, the overall money movers, it's BlackRock, always has been, always probably will be for a long, long time. So yeah, inflows strong. But what does this give us? It gives us the most clear and obvious thing here, a massive short squeeze, right? I've been thinking we're going to go lower, right? That isn't me short in the market, by the way. Just want to put that point out there. It's just me waiting to accumulate my position, and I'll showcase that in a minute. But for me, there was people getting really clever with their monies at high leverage levels and liquidation risks, and that would then create a short squeeze. Once it broke up, it's going to squirt even harder because it's going to force traders into buying back positions, accelerating their moves, and obviously those liquidation stop losses being hit is going to create this big, massive move. When you've got a situation when the market has been suppressed for a while and you get a bit of an influx, it's going to create volatility, and obviously we're prepared for it. But let's look at the bullish case for Bitcoin, right? So when we zoom out a little bit, 3-day time frame, right? You could argue that this looks somewhat like the bottom here. You could argue in a sense that we've had many, many pushes and pullbacks, and then a lot of nothingness into a potential area where it just bottomed and fizzled out. That is fine. You've got to look at the fact that Bitcoin has absorbed a hell of a lot of negative sentiment over this time period and hasn't really moved much, which is good. ETF demand has returned with the expectation of liquidity to be improved. That's huge. Creating retail volume, a bit of institutional behavior there as well. And this rally, wait for it, is not just Bitcoin, is it? It's a bit of everything. So when we talk about, say, let's just look at Ethereum, for example here. Ethereum has really done well. Okay? I'm not the biggest lover of Ethereum, but credit is where credit is due. It's done its thing and it wanted to. XRP has also moved, right? So it's spreading further than the world of the altcoin, the Bitcoin market into the altcoins, especially the top ones. There's still a large amount of bearish leverage that has now been flushed out. And that's good to see. And we've seen a lot of green kind of candle strokes here, which is quite nice, and creating a bit of an alt season, you could probably argue. So just need to look at that vibe realistically and talk about that the market has finally reacted to something positive for a change, which is quite rare, I know. But the thing is as well here, I just want to talk about this bit. Markets normally bottom when people have stopped believing they can recover. I don't think we actually got to that stage. I felt like it was okay. And I know this is going to sound very mental, but this bear market has not been a struggle like the past ones. It's been boring. Yes, I get it. People have, left the markets, the views are down. It's been pretty annoying. Not too bad for me because I've been doing personal finance as well, because I do the stock market too, so I've been able to keep busy. But for me, it's like versus the other cycle, it's been different in that sense. It's been quite easy with the volatility. We haven't dropped as far, and it hasn't been as much pain or things blowing up on us. But in that sense, it has been very boring. By the way, if you are interested, there's a 50% off on Patreon if you are looking to get in for some exclusive content, and Discord. If you go annual, it's even more of a saving. It's ridiculously low. It's only on for a week though. There's a link below. And with that, you get access to a platform. There's a members only section, but this is getting built out currently. I've got a whole new API tool, and this is my dollar cost average challenge at the minute. But as I say, there's going to be huge updates, and you're going to see some more stuff in a minute. Now, the bearish indicator, obviously, yes, short squeezes. Within one day, we have gone from literally fear to greed like that. Not even joking. Last week, it was 29 fear. It was crap for ages. Now, this is one of my new free tools that you can see on my website. I'm just building these out at the minute. I'm going to make more logic and more data as well in a minute. But the thing is with this, right, that one big massive influx kind of worries me a little bit as a potential bearish one. Those explosive rallies can be a situation where they may not sustain. There may be a pullback. It may be a situation where it just rolls over because liquidity is just dried up a bit or the interest is gone, and we start to go lower. Remember, as Bitcoin goes higher, it will find fresh bearish liquidity a bit higher. So wait and see where those resistance points are. Also, the bearish case is this isn't a full-blown QE. It's just a short temporary measure. It's created a lot of influx and, returns of news, views, and interest, and people starting to go, ooh, and then obviously the price move. So just be mindful of that. But when we talk about the Clarity Act, that still needs to become actually live and real and tangible and happening. Hasn't happened yet. And when Donald Trump comes out and says, could be buying into Bitcoin through US funds, it makes you go, oh, could he? Would he? Can he? Should he? Just be mindful, that could get rugged on us. And the most obvious sense of the word is the bearish argument is that's going to be a trap because we haven't broken a clear line of structure yet. Yes, we've moved up. What do we do, for example, on the correction? Do we go here? Do we find new? And boom. This level at $82,000 level is huge. That is the biggest, most important, obvious level right now. We have done these little pullbacks quite a few times. They do happen. This one's a lot more aggressive. But what if we fail? Ooh, what if we go down here? What if we just go back down to these lows? We don't want this to be a fart in the wind, do we? We don't. Definitely not. A vertical move without any retest could be dangerous. So it could be sold off. So just be mindful. This is why you don't FOMO into things. A lot of people seem to be FOMOing right now, which is not ideal. Question isn't about Bitcoin. Is it good? Can it sustain? It's about, will the buyers or the traders, whatever, speculators, be there when the hype fades away a little bit on the pullback? That's my biggest concern. So let's talk about as well, going and developing this a bit more. What would convince me that this is the bottom? Well, firstly, this level would have to be broken for me personally. And that's risky. Yes, if it goes down, I'm going to buy. And I'll talk about that in a minute. But for me, this level has to, we've got to change the structure. We've got to change the narrative. Because when we go back in time and look at history, what we've seen before in the past. Now, I'm not saying that this is going to happen. I'm not. All I'm going to say is, in the past, right, we're going fucking well deep into the jungle here, boys and girls. We, boom, broken it. Fuck. Bull market, right? It went up and it fucking nuked itself, right? Now, apologies for the language, but will you be able to stomach a correction like this? Having been told the market is bullish, and it was, will you be able to withstand a potential correction of 22, 23, maybe higher percentages? That's the question you've got to look at. You have to wait for the confirmation that the structure is real, which I know not everyone does, and people get really turned on by it. And obviously we did. We went up high, up to the moon, right? But for me, going back in time as well, those days, not that long ago, it was quite a long time ago actually, but you get the idea. We moved, well, no, we dropped a lot more percentage points. It was a lot more painful, as I say. So firstly, as I say, we need to convince that we're going to create a new weekly high. A high on the weekly. We're on the 3-day time frame, but it's the same structure point. You get the point. That is an important level, and it has to be retested as well. So we probably are going to get a retest at this level, and then we may well break up higher. It needs to show that that is real and that is happening, and that's happened, because this is still bearish structure, even now. Obviously, another thing as well, what will convince me? Well, obviously this. Are we going to get consistent ETF inflows? Who knows? Over the last 30 days, it's been much better. 90 days, it's been pretty shit. Over the year, iffy. I think this rules the roost quite a lot. Again, you could argue the same situation with Ethereum. It's been fucking turd for ages. Go to the 30-day time frame. It looks a hell of a lot better. That explains why have we had a 20% move? Well, that's probably why. Just saying. So stuff like that is huge. Again, you could argue, will we get more interest on, say, I don't know, the BTC pair of Ethereum? Maybe. You know, we all went all the way down here. We pulled up. Breaker structure here is looking quite good as it stands right now, if you can see on your mobiles. But you get the point here. This is what we're looking for in the world of USD for Bitcoin and stuff like that. Hasn't really kind of rejected here, let's be fair. So we'll see where that goes. So stuff like that is huge. As well, we could talk about this. The market breadth, 4% over the last 7 days. Currently, right now, this is not the best information. This is quite new. I've just literally developed it and built it and fucked about with it. But that could be important. It still is technically, according to this, Bitcoin season. Over the last 30 days, it's Bitcoin leaning. So there's still a lot of things where they haven't really, there's been some stuff, but not a lot. So if we do start to get more and more interest elsewhere, it might well create more positivity. But the question as well, and we could talk about anything here, insert asset here. Will the rallies essentially hold as the news becomes a bit more negative, a bit more shit? So we've got to look at that. Here's my plan. Yeah. I've been dollar cost averaging for a while. Not been doing well, as you can see. I started quite late. I started quite high as a bit of a challenge, see what I could do. And we're nearly at break even now. We were struggling for a while, but I've been dollar cost averaging every single Sunday for a while now. And I've rebuilt this from the ground up. You can see the forecast and stuff and how we can go and what we could do and how many years it'll take to get one BTC and what the values could be. That's a base case. Bullish case could be crazy. Bearish case could be dog shit. But you get the idea, right? This is all on my Patreon membership that you can follow along if you so wish to. However, I do have USD. I've talked about this quite a lot. This is an old page that I'm going to show you, but this is my cycle plan. And long term, this is my allocations. I think that's probably changed now. But I sold most of my Bitcoin at 116,000, right? And my plan is to rebuy back low. Or if I can, it doesn't matter, as I say, because I've still got a decent chunk of it in Bitcoin. That's fine, which is good to see. So over the course of time, 58 to 50k rebuying zone. Didn't really get there, did we? Tickled it for a little bit. And then 40 to 37k. Yeah, it's quite big. Maximum under 37k. I will explain that in more detail in a minute. But I will still look for pullbacks. I will still look and see if we go bullish, I will still deploy that capital. It just won't be as nice. It will be on the bullish momentum, not the bearish side, and probably the harder side actually in terms of the bearishness. But for me, that's my plan. Keep stable currencies to buy back low. Keep stacking the BTC, DCA challenge. Keep doing it. Why not? Every single Sunday. And then diversify and potentially clear the mortgage whilst I'm nice and young, and I can buy other stuff and do whatever the hell I want with my life. That's absolutely fine. But everyone's different. I will probably not increase much altcoin exposure, but that is, as you can see, and I'm going to change this page and make it neat and tidy with a lot more facts and figures and some videos as well soon for members only. But you're getting a bit of a glimpse here. Bitcoin is, right? And even though in the last cycle I bought near enough the bottom, but I didn't buy enough of it, I should have bought more. I should have sacked off altcoins, bought Bitcoin. You don't have to buy the exact bottoms. You just have to build solid positions. I've been building solid positions for a while. I'm still fine. As I say, I've still got a lot of Bitcoin. That's okay. It's all about risk management at the end of the day. But yeah, I am developing a hell of a lot of tools. There's a lot going on in the background. I'm building a lot of free ones. I'm building some members only sort of vibe ones as well that you can follow along and do stuff and learn with, as well as the Discord. So yeah, if you are interested, feel free to jump in. But yeah, this bounce is quite exciting. It's got me off my chair for once. Meaningful, as you could probably argue. The bullish evidence is there, but it's not concrete enough yet to fully trust it and go, you know what, this is fucking awesome. You often get burned on moves like this as well. So especially with crypto, you do. Always wait for that pullback. But until then, I'm still going to DCA. I'm going to buy again on Sunday. I'm going to be doing other bits and pieces and figuring out my life. But more importantly, nothing's changed in my plan. I will still hold Bitcoin, and I'm still happy to hold it as well, even though I may not have accumulated low enough yet.